Can you really believe it? It's already May of 2022, and in just over 4 months, we've really been spoiled with some ludicrously good games. But the year is far from over, and while it may be a little bit quieter than what we've been used to these past few months, it is by no means lacking choice in the new games department. That's because May is filled with an assortment of anticipated releases and charming indie titles for you to sink your teeth into. Hello there everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and I don't want to waste any of your time, so let's just get right into it. The biggest game releases you can expect to enjoy on your PlayStation consoles in the month of May. We are kicking off the month with this gory top-down shoot-em-up from Chunky Box Games, Wildcat Gun Machine. This satirical Doom-inspired shooter launches on PS4 on May 4th, and yes, that sadly does mean that the game is only playable via backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5, but with its cartoony yet grotesque art style, you aren't going to be complaining about its graphics anytime soon. Whether you are firing out disastrous beams of destruction or you're at the helm of a spider-bot mech, Wildcat Gun Machine will pit you against an assortment of twisted enemy designs, and it'll do it all with some meowtastic flair. You know, cause of the cats. The very next day, you can expect to pick up Trek to Yomi. This is a cinematic side-scroller that will scratch that Ghost of Tsushima itch for anyone dying for more samurai action. And for those of you out there that played Tsushima on the Kurosawa mode, Trek to Yomi utilises an excellent black and white visual style. Players can expect to get wrapped up in a tale of honour and duty as lone samurai Hiroki recorrects his fall from grace by protecting those he loves. With tense standoffs and cinematic vistas, this is perfect for those looking for a far more focused narrative experience. If you are inclined to indulge yourself in a diverse double bill, Best Month Ever releases on that same day of May 5th. This is a point-and-click adventure focused on a terminally ill mother with just 1 month to live. The story flips between both the 60s as she tries to raise her child and the 70s where her now grown son reflects on his time with his mother. What's quite cool about this title is that the choices you make in the 60s as the mother will directly impact what happens in the 70s with the son, so you'll witness the immediate effect of your parenting decisions. And with its politically charged and socially tense setting, you'll come into contact with a number of interesting individuals along the way. Source of Madness is next up on our list, releasing on both PlayStation 4 and 5 on May 11th. This is a gothic Lovecraftian side-scroller with a multitude of disturbing creatures to face and an ever bigger collection of sorcery to utilise. With its roguelite approach and a touch of procedural generation, you'll never face the same horrific monster twice, and with its deep gameplay systems, Source of Madness is a delight for those that love to stick their noses into combat systems and skill trees. Not to mention with its AI-assisted art style, the landscapes of the Loamlands and the Tower of Madness are beautifully twisted sights to behold. And with its AI machine learning, you'll always be kept on your toes with some frighteningly smart enemies. The Centennial case, A Shijima Story, is for all of you out there that love a good live-action mystery. Playing a writer on the hunt for answers, you will investigate 4 murders that span a century. Travelling to and reliving the events of each of these murders, the Centennial case is somewhat similar to shows like American Horror Story, where the same cast members will play different characters across each of the time periods. In one period they may be the victim and the next the murderer themselves. Taking the various clues you find along the way, you can then come to your own conclusions about the murder, and not every one of them will be correct. So be sure you have your notepad and detective coat ready when the Centennial case, A Shijima Story, drops on May 12th. Evil Dead the game is a surprisingly deep survival experience based on the decade-spanning horror franchise. You might initially roll your eyes at the idea of another 4 survivors, 1 big bad gameplay structure that we've seen a million times before in titles like Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight. However, The Evil Dead is spicing things up a little by giving the survivors a bit of power for themselves. Rather than constantly running away and hiding, players will take the fight to a collection of deadites with some lovely gory finishers. This is a real dollop of fan service to any Evil Dead lovers out there, with an assortment of Easter eggs and references. It even has original cast members coming back to voice characters you can play, which span the entire franchise. Get groovy on May 13th when Evil Dead the game launches on PlayStation. Landing on May 19th, Deliver Us to the Moon is finally getting that next-gen upgrade. This sci-fi thriller launched on PS4 last year, where it enthralled its players with a near-future apocalyptic storyline that saw a lone astronaut travel to the moon in search of answers from a now silent lunar colony. With an experience optimised for PlayStation 5, players can expect to be wowed with ray tracing reflections and shadows. And what's even better is that if you already own the game on PlayStation 4, you'll be able to upgrade to this new version of the game for free. Launch yourself into the mystery of Deliver Us to the Moon on May 19th. This one is travelling from the realm of PC all the way to your PS5. Endzone, A World Apart Survival Edition brings the post-apocalyptic survival city builder to consoles for the first time, and with 4K visuals and 60 FPS to boot. Build a new home and endure a hostile world destabilised by a nuclear disaster, which will see radiation, toxic rainstorms and drought become regular occurrences. The console edition of this game comes with a new overhauled UI, exclusive missions and the game's expansion, meaning players can dive into this meaty offering of a city builder with its unique post-apocalyptic pizzazz when Endzone launches on May 19th. Vampire the Masquerade is taking its second outing this year in the form of Swansong. While Blood Hunt was definitively multiplayer, Swansong returns to that narrative single-player experience where the vampires of Boston have suffered a tragic attack. With 3 central vampires to play as, combine your skills to investigate and root out the killers, all while protecting the Masquerade, a vampiric law that prevents humans from knowing of your existence. Swansong promises to be an immersive RPG experience filled with vampire orders, unknowing mortals, and evolving narrative choices. Steep yourself in the world of Vampire the Masquerade Swansong on May 19th. May 24th will introduce something a tad more light-hearted in the form of MX vs ATV Legends. This is the latest offering from the off-road racing series where you will experience the risk and rewards of becoming a world-famous professional rider. This is a far more expansive offering for fans of something like the Trials series, where you can rev your way through open environments with refined physics systems, enjoy a career and trials mode, and even engage in some friendly 2-player split screen. If you are looking for a little depth in your racing experience, however, do not fret. MX vs ATV Legends Career Mode will adapt to your choices with different sponsorship opportunities and special events. Not to mention the ability to customise and fine-tune your ride, so go on, get your best helmets on, give that visor a wipe, and become an ATV legend yourself. One of the biggest hitters of the month is all about pulling off that perfectly executed long-range headshot. Sniper Elite 5 has a May 26th release date in its sights, and this is easily proving to be one of May's most anticipated. With a more expansive approach to its gameplay, Sniper Elite 5 promises to let players uncover Nazi secrets and have more choice in how they want to dispatch of the many unknowing soldiers. Thanks to photogrammetry, players can expect some real-world locations all captured in stunning details. And with a renewed and refined traversal system, you can explore more of it than ever before. With improved kill cams, co-op, drop-in PvP, high caliber customization and full-blown PvP modes, Sniper Elite 5 is lining up to be a dead center hit. We've covered our initial impressions of the game in our preview, so if you're interested in this game, you should definitely check that out. Can you really turn down the opportunity to fight against intergalactic space cows? Nah, I didn't think so. Moorlander sets all thrusters to go on May 27th, bringing an enchanting yet oddly unsettling visual style to the forefront of this side-scrolling shooter. Command your space shuttle through the floral Mars, utilising your manoeuvrability and host of skills to take on bugs, flies, and of course, killer space cows. and you can jump into some 4-player co-op if those pesky cows are getting to be a little moo much. See what I did? Moo instead of 2. Anyway, moving on. Pac-Man is an all-timer in the gaming halls of fame, so of course, do we even really need an excuse to pick up Pac-Man Museum Plus, which rounds out the month of May? This is a Pac-Man fan's delight as it is home to 14 entries from the infamous series spanning the decades. You will play a little Pac guy who can customize their own arcade, where they get higher scores and unlock more customization options. And within this arcade, you can play anything from the original to the multiplayer battle royale. If it's got a Pac-Man in it, chances are it's here. Pac-Man Museum Plus will release on May 27th on PS4. And that's all we've got for you in the month of May. Let us know which of these exciting releases you plan on picking up this month, if any at all. And as always, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for all things PlayStation here on Push Square. I'll see you in the next one.